So in today's video, I took a book tag and I'm twisting it to make it a movie tag. Hey guys, what's up? It's Dom and welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, I usually make bookish content, travel content, and miscellaneous collection content. But today is going to be movie content. So in the bookish community, there's a thing going around called the mid-year book freakout tag, and this is how people usually do their like mid-year wrap-ups and talk about statistics, like the best book they've read so far and the most disappointing they've read so far. This year I decided to keep track of all the movies I watched, like whether they're new ones, rewatches, whatever, because I got a Letterboxd account, and I watched about 32 movies already. So I'm taking the questions from the book tag and making them focus around movies instead. If you want an idea of where I'm getting these questions from, I will link my book version down below. So in order to do this tag, I had to pay attention to what movies I was talking about, because I'm not a big rereader of books, but I will rewatch a movie like 10 times in a row. So weird. So I've rewatched a lot of movies this year, and I tried to pick ones that were new to me in order to answer these questions. It's 3:47 in the morning and I'm really struggling getting these sentences out, but this is the only time I have the film. Also, all the movies in this will not be 2020 releases. These are literally any movie I watched this year, whether they came out in 1960 or 2019. There's some 2019 movies we've talked about in this, so that's why I wanted to make that statement. The first question is the best movie you watched so far in 2020, and this is hands down Jojo Rabbit. This won an Oscar this year. This came out last year and it won an Oscar this year for Best Adapted Screenplay. And this is a satirical World War II movie, and it's about a German boy in the Hitler Youth whose imaginary best friend is Hitler, played by Taika Waititi, who's a Jewish man, and that's my favorite part about this movie. And as he's doing his, good German boy duties, he discovers his mom, played by Scarlett Johansson, is hiding a Jewish girl in the upstairs room. I am a sucker for World War II movies, whether it's about, whether it's in the Americans' perspective, the French perspective, the Jewish perspective, even the German perspective like this one, and seeing that it was like a satire, I think that's why I was so drawn to it, because I was like, imagine a satirical World War II movie, and the fact that a Jewish man plays Hitler was another reason I was so drawn to it, and the music. Never in my life did I think I would ever hear a Beatles song sung in German, but sure enough, the opening song of the movie is I Wanna Hold Your Hand in German. This movie was funny. I've never seen a Taika Waititi movie before this, but from what people told me, this is his usual style of the tragic comedy. This movie made me laugh, but I cried in the theater. There was a part where everyone in the theater just had a collective gasp because we were so shocked about what happened. I was shocked by the attention to detail that was in this movie, and I was shocked by the acting, because the little boys in this movie, this was their first big thing that they've ever done, and I have no words to describe how much I love this movie. And that ending, the song choice, oof, and the quote at the end, everything about this movie I just loved. I could not, when I got home that day, I could not stop talking about it. I made my dad watch this movie. He thought it was weird, but I don't really care. So if you have not seen this movie, I highly recommend it. Number 2 is the best sequel you've watched so far this year. I'm gonna go with Frozen 2. Listen, I liked the first Frozen movie. I didn't think it was bad. I don't understand the hate it gets, but I liked it. Was it great? No, I just liked it. Frozen 2 though, I absolutely love. Granted, I had problems with the pacing. I thought the pacing was a little awkward, but I just didn't care. I love this movie so much. The soundtrack is amazing. Show Yourself is currently stuck in my head too, but it's so much better than the first one. The animation in this movie is spectacular. It is so beautiful to look at. Oh my god, you just mentioned, all you have to do is go fruit and Show Yourself is stuck in my head. That's my favorite song in that whole fucking movie. Me and all my roommates at Disney watched this together, and we laughed, we cried. It's a theme, I guess. If you make me laugh and cry in one movie, ooh, great, I love it. 3 is a new release you haven't seen yet but want to, and 2020 is an awkward time for films just because of the whole COVID-19 thing. I really want to include the live action Mulan, but that technically wasn't released because it was as soon as everything went on lockdown, it was supposed to be released the week after, and they had to pull that idea. So now apparently it's coming out in July. I don't know, so I guess I'll just go with Artemis Fowl, which is currently on Disney+. Out of all the things I wanted to see, I either saw them already or theaters had to pull them and push them back. So Artemis Fowl is one of the only releases I can think of. heard weird things about it. I've heard mixed things. I've never even read the book, so, but I don't know. It looked cool. Still looks cool. I shouldn't use past tense, but you know what I'm trying to say. So 4 is the most anticipated release for the second half of the year. The main one I was really looking forward to seeing was Steven Spielberg's remake of West Side Story. That's supposed to come out in December, assuming everything's going to go according to plan. I don't know. Personally, I think there's going to be a second wave and we're all going to be shut down again, but whatever. Wear your fucking mask. And, you know, I was looking forward to it because I love the first movie. West Side Story is one of my favorite musicals. I've seen the movie, the original 1961 movie, countless of times. I've seen this on stage. But Ansel Elgort is in it. He's Tony, and with the recent stuff about him that came out, I'm kind of, like, uncomfortable seeing it because I know I don't really want to give him my money after what came out about him. And I know he's going to make money off of this, but I want to support everyone else in the cast, you know? I don't know. I'm conflicted. Like, I still want to see it, although Ansel Elgort just makes me uncomfortable. I was never a fan of his in the first place, and I was actually shocked when he got the role, but the guy from American Horror Story in the 8th season, he didn't have a big role, but he's in this, he's going to be in this movie. He's going to be Riff, so Maddie Ziegler is going to be in this movie. She doesn't have a big role either, but it's like, I saw her name in IMDb and I was like, girl, Rita Moreno's coming back. Support her. Number 5 is the biggest disappointment. I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion, because I've talked to people who agree with this, and then I talked to a lot of people who don't. So I think this movie just causes a lot of mixed reviews, but I'm going to go with the live-action Lion King. I was expecting to love this, and I didn't. I was bored. At the end of it, I was like, why didn't you just keep it with the original cartoon? As a zoology major, and just studying animals on my own time, I can tell you that lions do emote more than they did in this movie, which a lot of people have opinions on, surprisingly, because they're like, oh, they're not supposed to emote, they're supposed to be like real lions, but it's like, lions have more facial expressions than what we're shown. I thought all the songs were just really underwhelming. Yeah, I don't know what I was expecting. Like, this is the thing I have with remakes, like, you don't make it like the original, people get mad at you, but then you make it like the original, and then people are mad because it's like, if it was going to be this close, why bother remaking it? It was just scene by scene the same. I think one of the reasons I was upset, because I was actually expecting them to take songs from the Broadway show and include them. That would be kind of cool, because I've seen the live musical twice, so I was expecting like Shadowland, and what's the song that Simba sings? Endless Night, I think it's called, like that stuff. Understandably didn't get it, but I don't know, I just assumed we would, which was wrong on my part, but I just didn't like this movie. I was bored. I was watching it with a roommate. She was bored. It was not a good time. 6 is the biggest surprise of the year. I'm gonna go with Rise of Skywalker. Star Wars Episode 9, Rise of Skywalker. I didn't see this until like the second week of January just because I had so much going on when the movie came out. I avoided spoilers like the plague. The one thing I gathered on Twitter is that everyone fucking hated this movie. So I went in with such low expectations. I expected to walk out of the theater furious, giving it like half a star out of 5. I gave it 3 stars. It's not great by any means. There are so many things about this movie that I didn't particularly like, but in the end, I thought it was just okay. So that's why it was the biggest surprise, because I don't vehemently hate it. I just think it's an okay movie. Does that make sense? Because the one thing I couldn't stand was the constant characters like dying, but then being like, hey, JK, they're back to life. I don't like how Finn was kind of pushed aside as a side character. Like, they made such a big deal about him in episode 7. Like, I thought he was going to be one of the main characters, and he was in episode 8, but in 9, I just felt like he was thrown to the side. Rose, thrown to the fucking side. Fucking useless. She had like 5 minutes of screen time, which makes me feel so bad for that actress. Like, imagine getting the role in episode 8, being like a huge part of the story, just for the people who made episode 9 to be like, yeah, we don't want you, but because Rian Johnson brought you in, we kind of have to keep you. So I felt bad for her. But there are things I liked about this movie. I like seeing Han again, so I guess I should mention spoilers, but I like seeing Han again. I like seeing Luke again. I liked how they handled Princess Leia. They didn't want Leia to have a huge part of this movie, but because of Carrie Fisher's death, they had to completely rewrite that. Seeing what they were given, I thought they handled it well. I hated the kiss at the end. Not a fan. I don't know, but like, yeah, so I call this movie okay, and now I'm just telling you what I didn't like about the movie. I enjoyed myself watching it, like I didn't hate myself or anything. Personally, I kind of see this movie becoming like a cult classic, take that as you will, whether it's like so bad people love it or like people just don't appreciate it enough. But yeah, biggest surprise because I thought I would vehemently hate it, and then I didn't. It was just okay. So number 7 is the favorite new director, whether that's debut or new to you, and I will go with Taika Waititi, who made Jojo Rabbit, because I've never seen any of his work before. Like, I know he made Marvel movies. I think it's the Thor movies. I am not a Marvel fan. I'm not a huge fan of superhero movies, so I've never seen those. I've heard of What We Do in the Shadows, haven't seen it. I've heard his other one, the Wilder People one, haven't seen it. So this was my first thing. Jojo Rabbit was the first thing I've ever seen by him, and I absolutely loved it. Next is my newest fictional crush, and I'm gonna go with the dude in Pretty in Pink. What's his name? I think his name is Ducky. The one that John Cryer plays, and that's all I could really think of. The guy who played the actual love interest in that movie was really, really cute, but his acting kind of freaked me out. Like, he didn't blink. It was weird. So I'm gonna have to go with Ducky. Even though he was kind of a douchebag too, by like being mad at her for no reason. I mean, his reason was that she got with a rich guy, but like, I don't know, it was the 80s. The 80s were wild. And then the next question is newest favorite character, and I'm gonna go with Yorkie from Jojo Rabbit. Yorkie is Jojo's best friend who's not imaginary. This kid is so fucking cute. His lines were hilarious. Like, I can't say them because like it was his delivery that made them great and just the circumstance and when he said it. But oh my god, this kid's so cute. This kid has comedy in his future. I've seen some of his interviews. His deadpan is like on point. So you gotta, I've mentioned this movie so many times in this video. You have to watch Jojo Rabbit. Question number 10 is a movie that made you cry. And that is 1917. So when I got my job at Disney World, I arrived. I had nothing to do because check-in wasn't until the next day. So I went to Disney Springs. And I saw that their movie theater is significantly cheaper than the ones here in Chicago. So I was like, oh, I should go see a movie. The movie that was close in time was 1917, but because by the time I got there, the next showing was in 8 minutes and I've been wanting to see it. So I did. And I kept counting the amount of times I cried in one sitting, and that count was 6. So if you don't know what this is about, it takes place during World War I, and then these two friends have to go across the battlefield to send in a message to tell them that the fight against the Germans is a trap. The Germans want them to fight. It was emotional. And the way they filmed it looks like 2 continuous shots, which I thought was really cool. I did not, apparently that was a common known fact, but I did not know that going into the theater. And so after 10 minutes, I was like, holy crap, they never actually cut yet. It's a cool movie. I highly recommend it. So then the next question is a movie that made you happy, and that will be Tangled. I finally watched that. How long has this fucking movie been out? I've never seen it before until this year, and it was so... That's all I really have to say about it, because it's just one of those movies. We love Flynn Rider, though. And I was watching one of the parades in Magic Kingdom one day, and Flynn Rider, we made eye contact, and I was like, I see you. I worded this question to be the most beautiful movie poster, and I'm gonna go with Onward just because I love the color scheme of this. This movie also made me cry. And the next question is, what movies do you need to see by the end of the year? And I wrote down 3. One of them was an impulse, and I put 365 Days, which is that not safe for work movie that everyone's been talking about because it looks so bad that I need to see it for myself. I just need to find a good time to watch it. But the future is never, so I might as well just watch it now at 4 in the morning. But then I also have Joker, because I wanted to watch that last year around Halloween, but then I never got the chance to go to the theater. So I think I'm gonna wait till the Halloween season to watch it this year. And then another one, I want to watch a past Oscar Best Picture, so I decided one of my life goals is to watch every movie that has won Best Picture at the Oscars, starting from the first ever one in the 1920s up until Parasite. So I kind of want to watch the first one, and I want to do a video where we watch it together. I just need to find a way to do that. So at this point in the book tag, that's when it actually ends, but because there are some more movie aspects I wanted to talk about, I decided to add 2 more questions. So one of them being the oldest movie I watched this year, and that would be Swiss Family Robinson, which came out in 1960. This is one of Walt Disney's live action films that he made, and it's about a family that gets shipwrecked on an island after a very bad storm, and it's just their life living on this island after they make a tree house and all that. And it was cute, but I don't know. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars, I think. So my parents were very, very excited about Disney Plus because that meant they could watch all the movies they used to watch as a kid and some of their favorites. This one was one of my dad's favorites. It was cute, but I was getting bored halfway through it, so. But cute, I guess. You can actually go visit their treehouse at Walt Disney World. I never did because I ran out of time. So then the last one is honoring the rewatches. What were my favorite rewatches this year? So I said The Great Gatsby because I was so excited that we were entering the 20s because, those parties, the speakeasies, it's the 20s. But then, you know, past 20s, like the 1920s and 1820s had rampant diseases. Here we are, 2020 is not going as everyone planned. All I wanted was for Gatsby to invite me to a party, and here we are, not at a party. I'm alone at my house, so we love to see it. But then the other rewatch was Forrest Gump. So CBS is bringing back their like Sunday night movies, and Forrest Gump was on. Forrest Gump is just one of those movies where if I see it on TV, I will stop changing the channel and watch it. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. I also cry every time I watch this movie. Oh, there's so many scenes that kill me. Specifically, the one with Bubba in Vietnam. Oh my god. And then when he meets his son for the first time, tears. Actual tears. And that is it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. If you want to do this video, I'm not going to tag anyone specifically. I just think if you're a huge movie fan, whether it's because you're like a movie critic or you just like it for entertainment, I tag you. I tag whoever's watching. So if you like this video, give it a like, thumbs up, comment, whatever you want. Like, thumbs up. That's redundant. But comment, subscribe, the whole jargon. And it is 4:10 in the morning. I could feel my eyes drooping as I'm talking to you guys, and my throat is hurting from talking so much. So I'm going to peace out, and I will see you guys later. Ciao, tutti.